Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how to start this video. Charlie Kirk was murdered 2 days ago. And I'm not a highly political guy. My videos are comical. I'm a stand-up comedian. I started my YouTube channel only to do comedy. I wanted to stay clear of politics. Politics wasn't going to be my thing, but I think Charlie Kirk's death is one of those things that has touched everybody, whether you're political or not. He was what I can gather, a good man. A good man who believed in God, his country, and freedom of speech. And for that, he was murdered. He was assassinated by an absolute lunatic. I can't say that I 100% agreed with everything Charlie Kirk said, but I will say I agreed with most of what Charlie Kirk said. I do believe that there are only two genders. I do believe that, although I'm not a highly spiritual man, I do believe that people should have a belief in a higher power. I find that once people lose their belief in a higher power, they start treating the government like it's a god, which is what these left-leaning lunatics do. They no longer believe in God and they start listening to the government. Now, after Charlie Kirk's death, and this is what Charlie Kirk's death was shocking, right? But what was even more shocking to me is the amount of people I considered to be friends gloating over the death of Charlie Kirk. I'm never ever going to be able to look at these people and have respect for these people the same way I once did. I don't think there will be any amount of time. No amount of time will pass that will give me respect back for them, is what I'm trying to say. Highly disappointing. Like, the man was just murdered live on the internet in front of a large group. I could only say a few thousand is my guess. Young teenagers just shot and killed. And his wife and 2 children were there. Oh, I didn't know the man, but I am getting a little bit emotional over this. He was a good man, from what I gathered. He was brave. He went into college campuses, hostile studios, TV studios, and podcasts. He debated at universities all across the country and even in England. He went overseas to debate. And I can tell you what, he would always come out looking better than when he went in. And this is why I think they killed him. Because he was making sense. He was moving the youth vote more, not from the left to the right, but more to the middle right. He was bringing extremists from the right and the left back to the centre. And they couldn't have that. They feared that. I've watched a number of clips where Charlie Kirk is talking to somebody who clearly hates him, clearly despises him. And by the time he is finished debating, not even debating, just discussing with them the subject that they wanted to talk about, They walked away thinking and second-guessing their world beliefs. That is why they decided to get rid of Charlie Kirk. They feared that he was turning people normal again, encouraging people to go back to God instead of suckling on the teat of big government. That is why they killed him. Now, I'm going to show a few clips that I think show the effectiveness of Charlie Kirk, changing the minds of rabid leftists into moderates.
Do you think the average rap artist that a black kid in the hood is listening to is glorifying marriage and family and saving your money?
That's what sells because it's a culture thing. It's not just within the black community.
I agree. No, but hold on.
Everyone listens to it. It's not just isolated.
It's bad for everyone who listens to it. The point being is that black youth, as they are being raised, their role models are largely not glorifying staying with one woman, getting married, going to church. But if it's about culture, you're right. The internal black culture has collapsed the last 60 years. We're no longer elevating the family. We're no longer elevating staying with the person that you're with. So our contention here as conservatives is that the systemic racism stuff is a bunch of rubbish. Instead, it's systemic bad choices.
Do you feel that systemic racism isn't real?
Of course not. What can I do that you can't do? Name it.
Okay.
No, seriously. What can I do that you can't do?
Fallacy.
So, we all know the left has a censorship problem. Do you think the right has the same problem as the left in regards to censorship? For example, banning professors from talking about critical race theory in class.
Well, banning and then not having as part of your curriculum are two different things. So curriculum is what is different than freedom of speech, correct? Because curriculum is actually what's voted upon and what you're tested on. So no, critical race theory should not be in the curriculum of taxpayer-funded schools.
But do you think, if a professor wants to include it, shouldn't it be their free speech?
A professor can say what they want, but inversely, do you think we should subsidize the teaching of eugenics?
You know what? That's a good point. I'm going to talk about it like that.
For example, if there was a science teacher here funded by taxpayers and said he thinks that Hitler was right, should we put up with that?
Probably not.
He has a right to say it, but we also have a right to no longer fund that as taxpayers and say that it shouldn't be in our curriculum.
That made a lot of sense to me.
Thank you.
It's usually a college campus against Charlie. I've noticed the swing of a college campus.
It's totally
with
changed.
Charlie now, and it's radically different, and it's so much more fun to watch. What do you attribute that to?
You know what it is? The people in this audience are smart, and they're panicking that they're not going to have a country. They're the first generation since George Washington to have it worse off than their parents. This generation is the most depressed, suicidal, anxious, drug addicted, lowest homeownership, poorest, most overweight, directionless. No, I mean, again, this is true. And also, this generation around you has something very unique. Almost everyone in this audience here had their prom canceled because of COVID. Had their graduation ceremonies canceled. Probably lost a friend to suicide because of all the lockdowns. And they are looking for a country that they can believe in, that they can live in. So I'm not going to take credit for it. These are forces greater than us. We just happen to be at the right place at the right time.
And just like that, in those two clips, the first guy, the black guy, you can see Charlie made him use his own words to prove his own theories wrong, which I don't think he understood it right there and then. But when he looks back at that video, I'm sure it's going to click. Maybe I'm not a victim. And in the second clip, that guy got it right there and then. It made sense. It made total sense to him. And that other guy was pointing out that he had noticed a big change in the way that college campuses now welcome Charlie Kirk. They used to hate him, protest him, and now they're cheering and celebrating. And the left couldn't have it. The left just couldn't stand it. The grip on power was loosening and they had to do something about it. Charlie was masterful like that. He never raised his voice. He was never disrespectful. Maybe he said some things that hurt people's feelings, but sometimes the truth does. Now, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this subject because I'm not political. I don't want to be political, but this is one of those subjects I couldn't stay silent on. So I've got a few other clips I'd like to chuck in. If you'll stick around and watch those, it'd be muchly appreciated.
So we now have the messages that were written on the shell casings in the Charlie Kirk shootings, and it gives a pretty clear indication of where the shooter's mind was at. This is the suspect that was apprehended this morning, Tyler Robinson. He confessed to the murder to his dad, and his dad turned him in. What was written on the fired casing was OWO. This is an internet meme associated with furry culture and animated videos. OWO is a wide-eyed emoticon. On the first unfired casing, he had written, "Hey fascist catch," with several arrows. The second unfired casing featured "Oh Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao Ciao Ciao." These are lyrics from Bella Ciao, a folk song that became an anthem of the anti-fascist Italian resistance movement during World War II. And the third and final unfired casing read, "If you're reading this, you are gay, LMAO."
And to be honest with you, as soon as I heard that last one, I burst out laughing in my car. I'm an internet troll. Fuck. That was funny.
Shot down and he was barely 31. Another woke coward took a life with a gun. He left behind a wife and a daughter and a son. All he did was try to speak for all of us. And I'm so tired of the hatred and the narratives. The patriots ain't dangerous, woke people are the terrorists. They shot and killed the father, sent a message to Americans. They ain't gonna stop until they bury us. Dear Charlie, I don't know if you can see us now, but if heaven has a window, I sure hope you're looking down. Cause we ain't going quiet, we gon' scream your name loud. And you're gone, but I swear to God that we gon' make you proud. We ain't backing off or giving up, I'll preach what you taught me. They may have killed a soldier, but that man had an army. This is far more deep than some political parties. And you can't kill freedom, so this one is for Charlie.
And it's sad that Charlie's gone, but I think he's ignited a movement that is going to live on long after his passing. And this song is going to be an anthem. It is. That was good. That was good.